Your friendly neighborhood YouTuber is rated PG-13. Parental advisory, explicit content. Viewer discretion is advised.
One of these is not like the other. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are going to take a look at the old age debate. Marvel Select versus Marvel Legends. Who wore it better? Today, we are going to settle an age-old debate. Nightcrawler's down! Who is the better toy company? Marvel Legends or Marvel Select? What's up, everyone? It's your friendly neighborhood YouTuber, and we are back here again with... What the hell are we doing? Marvel Legends versus Marvel Select. Who did it better? Let's start with the figures. Let's do some comparisons, guys. Let's do some comparisons and see who wore it better. If you guys are accustomed to my channel, then you guys know I've done a lot of Marvel Legend versus Marvel Select figure reviews. Some Marvel Legends won, some Marvel Select did. Now, how to make this playing field even. We're gonna go through each comparison, and we're also going to do the year-to-year ratio, meaning that some figures were released around the same time, so we're going to do the comparisons with that. Some figures were released, there was a huge gap in between them, like the Colossuses back there, the Doctor Stranges, they were released around the same time. The Rogues, they were, I guess you could say they were released around the same times as well. We're going to do some comparisons as well with some of the older, some of the newer Marvel Select and Marvel Legends. Some may not be fair. Some actually stand the test of time. Some actually are really good comparisons. I think that made sense. I think I just rambled. Let's go ahead and let's start this comparison video. All right, so we're going to start this comparison versus video with one of my favorite characters, favorite figures of all time. And also, I actually did a video of this versus episode, which actually was one of my highest rated videos on my entire channel. The Marvel Select versus Marvel Legends. Listen, man, there really is no comparison. When it comes to Marvel Select, this Juggernaut is just brilliant. It's just absolutely amazing. Just look at this mother. Compared to the Marvel Legends, great figure if you guys love like animated stuff. I'm pretty sure Marvel Legends is going to be re-releasing this. Of course, they're doing the VHS, figures in the VHS boxes from the animated cartoon. So, yeah, I expect another Juggernaut coming out, being that they're doing the X-Men animated series. But as far as, like, comparison-wise, even though Marvel Select takes a realistic approach, I still think, in my opinion, this Marvel Select, Diamond Select Juggernaut is just way better. Sculpt, detail, wash, face sculpt. Even though this one is not too damn shabby, it's a really great figure, especially if you love animated stuff. So this is going to be a really hard comparison video because, one, Marvel Select does realistic versions of their figures, where Marvel Legends, they do pretty much animated stuff, cartoonish stuff, not much wash over these figures. So this is going to be really a tough video to do. And also, Marvel Legends, they pump out figures left and right, where Marvel Select probably do maybe, 10, maybe a dozen figures every year. I could be wrong. Compared to Marvel Legends, they kick out, hundreds? I'm guessing hundreds of figures annually. So this is going to be a tough comparison. As far as the Juggernaut is concerned, this is by far the best Juggernaut I think ever made, in my opinion. So, speaking of X-Men, let's move on to the next comparison. Alright, speaking of X-Men, here we are. Now, let me bring my camera down just a little bit, guys. Okay. What can we say here, bro? What can we really say here? One thing that disappoints me about Marvel Select is they haven't given us any Jim Lee X-Men inspired figures, man. Which really pisses me off, man. The only probably closest Jim Lee inspired X-Men that they probably have given us maybe, 10 years ago is the Marvel Select Colossus. This is what disappoints me about Marvel Select is they're a little bit behind their game. Marvel Legends has already given us the Jim Lee X-Men figures, and they did an amazing job. This is the only Cyclops that I know of that Marvel Select has ever done. Otherwise, I probably own another one. And they haven't given us a Jim Lee Cyclops. Marvel Legends just killed it. I am waiting Diamond Select, waiting on a freaking Jim Lee Cyclops, man. We need an updated X-Men collection. This is just not doing it anymore, man. It's not doing it anymore. You guys are just way behind schedule. This is the one thing that disappoints me most about Diamond Select. Dude, some more comparisons. Here we are. Wolverine, which is actually not a bad Wolverine. This Marvel Select Wolverine is not bad. But compared to the Jim Lee style right here, Wolverine, it's just way superior in my opinion. So, if there's one good thing I can say about Marvel Legends, with all the damn figures that they kick out, they actually give us what we want. So, yeah. So, as far as this right here, it's kind of an unfair comparison, being that Marvel Select it hasn't given us a Jim Lee inspired Wolverine. Kind of sucks, kind of unfair, but hey, we're rating toy companies, and Marvel Select, Diamond Select is a little bit behind schedule. One thing I will say that I love about Marvel Select that I wish, Hasbro Marvel Legends would do is, even though this guy came with the Build-A-Figure piece, Apocalypse Build-A-Figure piece, and I'm still waiting for that Diamond Select Apocalypse, even though he came with a Build-A-Figure piece, look, this is what Diamond Select gives us. They gives us bases, man, which is really awesome. The Weapon X helmet right there, the canisters, very nicely detailed base for its time. I just wish Marvel Legends would take a note from Diamond Select, man, and just give us an awesome base. If you're charging us $20 a character, I mean, why not? It's going to be a great money grab. I know Hasbro is going to give us X-Men figures with the Danger Room. They might even give us the damn Danger Room itself, sold separately. Sold separately. Remember that, kids? But yeah, I'm waiting for an inspired Jim Lee Wolverine. As of right now, the Marvel Legends is winning it. Speaking of, Diamond Select giving us one-time around. Diamond Select Deadpool. How many freaking Deadpools has Hasbro Marvel Legends given us? How many? I'm pretty sure it's in the hundreds. If not in the hundreds, then it has to be in the 60s, 70s, right? So many freaking Deadpool figures. In Marvel Select, this is the only freaking Deadpool figure that they have given us. And this son of a bitch came out, 10 years ago this guy came out? Great figure. He still holds the test of time. Very overlooked Deadpool figure, in my opinion. But I feel like he's due for an update, man. What do you guys think? It's a great Deadpool. But as far as Deadpools are concerned, I do prefer the Marvel Legends better, even though the Marvel Select has the wash over it, great detailing, guns, the swords are very nicely. Like I said, a very overlooked Deadpool figure. I don't know why this guy doesn't get that much shine, but I feel like we need an updated Deadpool. All right, speaking of, we'll keep it in the X-Men theme. Why the hell not? We'll go to Rogue. Marvel Select, Marvel Legends. Both came out around the same time. Both great figures. It's really up to you, man, what your preference is. I think both of these face sculpts are actually done very, very nice. I think I said this before when I did a review of this or a comparison of this. She's kind of like the MILF version. She's the teenage version. So depending on what your type is, if you like the MILF or if you like the teen version. No, this is not Pornhub. Overall, they're great figures, man. Both done very nicely. If I had to choose a preference, I would have to say I like the Marvel Legends version a little bit better. Just a little bit better. They did a better job with the hair sculpt, in my opinion, even though the Marvel Select, once again, has the wash over it. I think this one is a little bit more voluptuous. Like I said, this one's the MILF version. Overall, they're both good figures. Height-wise, I think this one is a little bit too slender. I always remember my Rogue as being voluptuous, being that I grew up watching the 90s X-Men cartoons. And also from the comic book as well. She's more comic book accurate. Of course, this is a more realistic version. But we can say that with every Marvel Select figure. Speaking of more realistic versions, right here. This Carnage right here, Marvel Select Carnage, is still my go-to Carnage figure, man. One of the best Carnage figures I think ever made, especially at the price point of what, $20 is what I paid for him, or $30 or $40. He's in the $60, $80, $100 range, depending on where you find him at. They made different versions of this Carnage. I got him with this head sculpt right here. Of course, I have the other version. This is kind of my custom right here that I did. So if he looks a little bit unique and different, I customized him because I wanted him to look more like the Marvel Select Carnage. But you have to remember, this guy was done, 8 to 10 years ago. Still holds up. I think it's still better than Marvel Legends. As far as what they have given us, you can say, oh yeah, the raised Carnage look for the Marvel Legends is a great Marvel Legends. I had that, didn't really care too much for the body. That's why I customized this one to my liking. It's a great figure. Marvel Legends did a great job, but come on, compared to this guy, look at this motherfucker. This right here is McDonald's cheeseburger. This right here is a freaking steak dinner. I don't even eat steak, but it's a freaking steak dinner. You guys get the comparisons. But yeah, Marvel Select, one of the best Marvel Select figures ever made. Let's keep it in the symbiote category right here. So depending on how you like your Marvel Legends, or excuse me, your Venom, Marvel Legends they have released so many damn Venom figures. Marvel Select probably was only released 2. This one, and then the Disney, I think this was the Disney Store exclusive, I can't remember. And then there was the Venom with the multiple heads, which was a great figure. It's actually become a pricey figure to have and to own. But nonetheless, I really love this Marvel Legends Venom. He's a little bit too big, too bulky, but damn it, I love him. I freaking love this Venom. And the reason why I broke this guy out is because even though there's been a lot of Venom figures released since, we can talk about the movie version, but I'm trying to base it on the comic book version. I think, man, it's a tough one, bro, because I do like the body sculpt, the slenderness and the bulkiness and the athleticness of this Venom, but at the same time, I love the bulkiness of this Venom as well. I love the black and the blues within this Venom. So for me, it's kind of a tie with this one, man. Marvel Legends killed it, and they killed it. You can compare a Venom, any Marvel Legends Venom, with a Marvel Select Venom, and yeah, man, it's just, they just knocked it out of the park, bro. You can take this off. This is removable right here. So if you want to do some back comparisons, it's really up to you. That's really up to your preference. This guy comes with different head sculpts right here. I don't think he came with the base. I'm pretty sure he didn't come with the base. This Venom pretty much came by himself. I don't think he came with any accessories, maybe some hand accessories, interchangeable hands. I'm not really for sure. Just depending on your preference. And also, one thing I like that Marvel Select did better than Marvel Legends, the face sculpts are actually both equally good. More wash, of course, Marvel Select, but they gave us the green slime right there, something that Marvel Legends did not do, which is kind of disappointing. So just depending on your preference, for me, I would say this would be a tie. Speaking of, we'll go over here to, let's go to the zombie collection, guys. Now, Marvel Select, they were ahead of their time because they put out the zombies way before Marvel Legends. Of course, this is based on the What If series. I think this is based on the What If series as well. This is based more on the animated cartoon. But just look at the comparisons, man. Even though I love this Marvel Legends zombie cap, just look at the detail to this Marvel Select. I'm gonna mix up Marvel Select, Marvel Legends, guys. So bear with me. But just look at the details. This was done like 8 to 10 years ago, bro. Compared to now, great figure, but I think even better figure right here. This is my go-to Sabretooth. I don't have any other Marvel Select Sabretooth. I feel like this guy works very well. He doesn't look like a zombie. He just looks like he got into a battle with Wolverine. As you guys can see, the claws right there for Wolverine. The blood is more realistic. This is more animated, but Marvel Select just killed it with the zombie figures. This is the only zombie figure that I have, and this is the only zombie figure that I have from Marvel Legends. So that's why I'm doing this comparison right here. Kind of unfair comparison, even though I love this Marvel Legends Captain America. Marvel Select did it, and I think they did it better 8 to 10 years ago. Speaking of 8 to 10 years ago, let's go to this Colossus right here, guys. All right, I did a comparison video of this Marvel Select Colossus as well. Actually, one of my highest rated videos in my entire vault of videos that I think I've done on YouTube. Listen, great Marvel Legends Colossus. Glad they gave us this look right here. But Marvel Select did this 10 years ago, and they did it better, guys. I'm sorry, they just did it better, man. They did it better. He's bigger, he's taller, he's more athletic. The face sculpt is just, in my opinion, just way better. The body is just way better. It's just a better overall Colossus. You know what I mean? He's bigger, he's bulkier. I think Marvel Select is clearly the winner for this figure right here, man. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Let's get to bigger and bulkier. Some new figs that just recently came out. So this is kind of a fair comparison right here, guys, because both of these figures were released around the same time. This was released, I think, last year, a couple years ago. And then this guy was just released last year as well. So, man, they're both great figures. Of course, this guy comes with interchangeable head and interchangeable hands. He comes with interchangeable hands as well. He comes with this shirt as well, which is great. But if you don't want it on there, you can put it on this Hulk right there. It makes sense. He looks just as good. Take the shirt off. Doesn't really matter about the shirt. The overall sculpt, I think Marvel Select is just way, way better. It's more proportionately accurate. The feet is done nicer. It's essentially the same damn figure, but I think Marvel Select is just way better in my opinion. The comparison wise, look at the back too. Even though he doesn't have the butterfly joints in the back for Marvel Select, I think this is my go-to Hulk. This is probably the best Hulk there is out there right now to speak as we speak. I think Marvel Select is in my opinion way better. When this guy first came out, I think I gave him a 10. He was like one of my top figures of 2018 or 19 or whatever the year he came out in. But overall, I think Marvel Legends just killed it. And the face sculpt, you can go to the face sculpt too. I think Marvel Select is just way, way, way better, bro, in my opinion. Great figures, great for your Marvel Legends, great for your Marvel Select collection. But if you guys are looking for a go-to Hulk, I would suggest this Marvel Select. Speaking of Hulk, let's go to Thor. Let's get to Thor. We're going to take care of some Avengers. Here was another comparison video that I did, guys, of here's the Marvel Legends versus Marvel Selects. Now, both of them are equally good. Of course, like I said, this was done over 10 years ago compared to this guy, which he was done, what, a couple years ago. Pretty much Marvel Legends pretty much stole the idea right there. I think overall, I think the Marvel Legends is better simply because it's newer. The face sculpt, I think, is in my opinion, better. Not way better, but better. Of course, I do like the body for the Marvel Select Thor a little bit better. I do like the wash over it, but Marvel Select Thor, in my opinion, is just, I think Marvel Legends Thor is just, in my opinion, way better. And plus it has the writing right there on his Mjolnir or his hammer, whatever you want to call it. There's the cape comparison right there, depending on your preference. You know, it is what it is. But at the time, this Thor was really good, and I think it still holds the test of time. As far as my go-to Thor, I would have to say Marvel Legends, I think, in my opinion, is the better Thor, even though I do like the coloring for this Thor just a little bit better. All right, speaking of Thor, let's go to Iron Man. So, here's one of my favorite Iron Man figures. This is from the first figure. This is from the first movie, where this one, I believe, he's from Civil War. This is the Civil War Iron Man. Not really a fair comparison, but it's Iron Man comparison nonetheless. There are so many freaking Iron Man figures Marvel Legends has produced. You know, similar to, who was it? Deadpool. You know, so comparing them with any Iron Man, you know, is... Comparing them, bringing out any Iron Man Marvel Legend, you know, is a fair comparison. I still think Marvel Select is better because of the paint that they use. It's more of a candy metallic drip that they use for this Marvel Select Iron Man. I think, just in my opinion, way better, done way more better. I have other Iron Mans I can bring out to do some comparisons, but this is the newest one that came out, or the newest one of the newest ones, should I say. But overall, I think the paint apps are better. It's more cleaner. I like the shine and the sheen that Marvel Select Iron Man has. So, in my opinion, you could put this Iron Man up against any Marvel Legend. I think it's still better than any Iron Man Marvel Legend, in my opinion. Even though this is a good figure, it does have the glossiness. It looks very cheap, very plasticky, where Marvel Select actually looks good. It looks good. It doesn't look plastic. It looks like metal, bro. And that's one thing I love about Marvel Select. So I would have to say the Iron Man Marvel Select is my favorite, in my opinion. Speaking of, let's go ahead and go to this Magneto comparison, guys. Now, this is going to be a tough one because this Marvel Legends, I did a little wash of this guy. I did some effects, customized some effects for this Marvel Legends Magneto shit. Slipped my mind. But let me tell you guys, both of these are really, really good figures. Really good figures. I wish, and now this was done, like I said, 8 to 10 years ago, maybe more. I wish I could take this head sculpt and put it on this body, because this right here is the Magneto that I know. He's lengthy, he's long, and they just give us this Magneto in 6-inch form. Magneto just looks too small, man. He looks too short. It's a great freaking Magneto. They could have killed it, but they just made him too freaking short, man. You put him on this base. He looks good on the base, right? I mean, you can put him on the Marvel Select base. But here's another thing that I just makes this Marvel Select Magneto just a little bit better, in my opinion, is they gave us this freaking base. Look at this base, bro. Look at this base. The arm, Colossus arm sticking out, the brick and the mortar and the debris and the concrete. Xavier Institute, the wiring. Bro, just look at this shit, man. Just an amazing, amazing piece, man. That's something that Marvel Select just doesn't give us. With this Marvel Magneto, I believe he was part of a 3-pack. I believe he was part of, there was Jean Grey and I think Cyclops, right? I can't remember. But I remember he was part of a 3-pack. Yeah, but still, nonetheless, just look at, bro. I still think this Magneto still holds up, man. Even though the face sculpt is not that great, this face sculpt is way better. Everything else below the neck is just way better, in my opinion, guys. All right, let's get to the final figure, and I'm going to give you my comparisons. My comparison review. Who did it better? Now, these figures came out around the same time. But just look at the comparison, bro. Marvel Select, in just my opinion, just way better. The face sculpt is just way better compared to this Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch, right? Played Doctor Strange. The detail is just way better, way superior. They did an amazing job. This is an MCU figure, so they just did a way, way better job. The cape is done better. The hair, the face, everything is done better. I think this was part of a 3-pack as well, or a 2-pack. I can't remember. I think he was with the Thanos and Iron Man 3-pack. I think this is where I got this guy from. He's a good figure, not bad figure. He does come with some effects. I do believe he came with some effects as well, but I just like him as is. And plus, look at this freaking base, bro. Look at this base. Look at this base. That is fucking dope. Right there. I mean, he if he was a little bit bigger, he would look like a freaking hot toy, man. So, yeah, Doctor Strange, being that they both came out around the same time, I think Marvel Select is better. So let me give you my final analysis, guys. Let me put all these figures back and let me give you my final analysis. Okay, so who's the clear and concise winner? Whew, man, this is a tough one. So there are some figures that Marvel Legends does better than Marvel Select, and Marvel Select does figures that are better than Marvel Legends. With all that being said, I think, to me, this is kind of an easy one because I think, in my opinion, I think I would have to give it to Marvel Select. Simply because when they release figures around the same time, Marvel Select has the edge. I think it's way better. The sculpt, the paint, the detail, in my opinion, is way better. Doctor Strange is a perfect example. Hulk is a perfect example. Maybe not Rogue right there. I do believe that Marvel Legends Rogue is a little bit better. But then again, you look at Marvel Select Colossus back there, which was done over 10 years ago compared to something that was released a couple years back, and you can see that it's still way better and more superior than the Marvel Legends. Same thing could be said with Magneto, even though it's a great Magneto. I think overall the base, the body is much more accurate to Magneto. Even Venom, I think the big version of Venom right there, even though they've released countless versions of Venom, that's one thing I love about Marvel Select is they don't have to release a bunch of figures, man, to improve on what they fucked up on the last time. They put it out there, you like it, and either you like it or you don't, or then you come to appreciate it, then you like it over time. That's one thing I see with a lot of collectors. They want to hate on Marvel Select because they don't produce enough figures, which I completely agree. But at the same time, they're kind of easy on my pocketbook. I'm glad that they don't pump out hundreds of figures like Marvel Legends. I'm glad Diamond Select actually works on their figures and actually puts out the figure like a work of art. So I think quantity over quality, in my opinion, is way better. Even though I'm still waiting for a Jim Lee Wolverine and a Cyclops to update my X-Men team. But I think when they give it to us, I think it'll be way superior than the Marvel Legends. So in my opinion, who wins this battle? I think even though Marvel Legends has its Build-A-Figure pieces, I think it's kind of a money grab. I don't like what Marvel Legends does as far as having us buy 5-6 figures to build an action figure, a Build-A-Figure that we want, and then 2 years re-releasing it in a different color, updating it. That shit really pisses me off, man. I like Marvel Select because they actually give us bases, which not too many toy companies do anymore, bro, especially in the $20, $30 range. They don't give us bases anymore. So I think overall, I think Marvel Select, Diamond Select is my favorite, even though Marvel Legends has more figures out there and they have a lot more you can choose from and you can actually build your teams. I still think Marvel Select is better in my opinion, even though I kind of built my X-Men team. I'm still waiting on Professor Xavier. I'm still waiting on Archangel. I'm still waiting on a Bishop from Marvel Select to kind of complete my X-Men team. But I do believe when they give us those figures, which they eventually will, I think it will be better than Marvel Legends. And I think the overall detail and quality, just looking at this Iron Man, just looking at the figures over general, I think quality-wise, Marvel Select is just way, way better. So who wins this round? Who wins it? In my opinion, as a Marvel Select and Marvel Legends collector, I would give the edge to Marvel Select. Quality is better than quantity. Wait, hold on. Let me repeat this again. Quality is better than quantity. That's what I meant to say. So I would have to give it to Marvel Select in this great age-old debate. Who did it better? Who does it better? Who wore it better? Marvel Legends, Hasbro, Diamond Select, Marvel Select. I would have to give it Marvel Select. If you guys sat through this long-ass video, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Let me know what is your favorite and why. And did I convince you any which way? I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next review. Peace out.